We've now been joined by our second place finisher, driver of the number 4 Jimmy John's Budweiser Chevrolet, Kevin Harvick. Kevin, another great performance by your team to come home in second place, and then also a 1-2 finish for SHR. So talk a little bit about your run today, but also the momentum from a 1-2 finish brings to the organization.
Yeah, just really happy for everybody from Stewart-Haas Racing and especially Kurt and Tony Gibson and all those guys on the 41 car, and in turn a little bit frustrated, just for the fact that I felt like we had a car that was capable of winning the race and just got so far behind with one set of tires there, went all the way to the middle of the pack, and luckily had a good enough car to get it back where it needed to be. So really happy with the way things went, and just ran out of time at the end.
Right. We'll go ahead and take questions for Kevin. If you have one, please raise your hand and state your name and affiliation. We'll start with Jim and then move to Jeff.
Jim Under, Charlotte Observer. I was just wondering, this sport is hard enough, but to see Kurt miss the first 3 races and then be in a position to be running almost as well as your team has and get a win, were you surprised that he and Tony were able to pick up kind of right where they left off this season?
Well, the last 3 races of the last season, they ran well and were able to build everything that they needed to go into the off season and understand what they needed to work on, and built good race cars and have been competitive every week.
All right, go ahead, Jeff.
Jeff Clark from USA Today. You've talked in the past about hoping to keep some of these drivers out of the chase that are going to be your competition. Obviously, it's your teammate, so you'd, I assume, hope he makes it. But he's your biggest threat this year, it seems like, and now he's officially in it. Does that have any impact on you?
None. Because we're happy that he's in. So it's the biggest impact is that it's good for the organization. So you just expect to race against that car, and that's what you do every week.
Right. We've also been joined by our 4th place finisher this afternoon, Jamie McMurray, driver of the number 1 Energizer Chevrolet. And Jamie, a solid performance for your team today. Talk a little bit about your run here at Richmond.
Well, we just had a really good car after 40 or 50 laps. I struggled a little bit at the beginning, tight and loose, just not a lot of grip, and the other guys' cars just seemed to fall off a little bit more than ours. So really, in order for us to have a shot at winning, we had to have a long green flag run at the end. The tires seemed to be a little bit inconsistent that we had this weekend. We had a set kind of in the middle of the race that seemed to be a long ways off, and then the set I got at the end seemed a little bit off. But overall, just didn't have a car that would take off and run for the first 25 or 30 laps. It had to go green for a while.
All right, we're going to go upstairs for 2 questions. Go ahead.
Hi, this is for Kevin. Tom Jensen from FoxSports.com. Kevin, could you talk about your relationship with Kurt Busch? Because you guys used to be seriously not like each other, and you seem to have a huge amount of respect for each other as teammates.
Yeah, we've had a great relationship for really going on 3 years now, just working side by side and trying to make our cars go fast. And whatever the past is the past, and right now we have a good working relationship, and that's what's productive to move our teams forward. So that's a good thing.
Pete Pistone, MRN.com, SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. Kevin, can you just clarify for me, was it the track bar that was having trouble or the adjustment from the inside of the cockpit of the race car?
Regardless of what it was broke, so I couldn't use it. I don't know which one was broke, but yeah, it was broke.
All right, we'll come back downstairs. If you have a question for Kevin, please raise your hand. We'll go ahead and get those out of the way before we continue with Jamie. Go ahead, Hank.
Hank Kurz with AP. Kevin, 3 of the last 4 races have been completely dominated by one car. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think's going on with that?
I wish it was ours. I don't have that answer.
Do you think it's a problem?
I just drive.
All right, we'll take our final question for Kevin over here to our left. Thank you.
Nicholas Vanderlock, Northern Neck News. Kevin, just thoughts on 7 top 2s out of first 9 races, I believe. Just touch on that, how great you guys have been, and of course, expectations going forth.
Well, I'm just really fortunate to have a team that's consists of a bunch of guys that just do their jobs week in and week out. I think we're a better team than we were last year, just for the fact that those guys it's just such a tight-knit group of people. And I tell people all the time, it's very special to be a part of a team that knows what to do with each other without even having to say anything. And you see the teamwork and the camaraderie between the group of guys, and everybody enjoys working together and being around each other. And that's really what makes it go around. And Rodney and myself and the engineers, Mike and Billy, we have a good understanding of, they understand what I'm talking about and what they need to do and the magnitude of changes that we need to make, and they have a good system. So Rodney's he's an animal, when it comes to the details, and he can drive it, he can build it, he can engineer it, and that is what a good crew chief really can do nowadays. So he's got one of the guys that's going to be in that caliber, and already is before too long. So it's just that's the new wave of crew chiefs, and they just get in there and work and understand everything that's going on with that race car.
Kevin, we appreciate your time today. Congratulations on your second place finish.